So, Vokabel. Freitag. Ich shuffle these up a little bit. Culture. Die Kultur. Fan. Yeah, like a sports fan. Or fan of whoever, music, or a fan. To eat, the verb. Right? So remember I'm showing you what the irregular form looks like? ISST. To drive, fahren, and fährt with an umlaut. To give, geben, gibt, G-I-B-T. Unbelievable. Unglaublich. You don't know, but glauben is the verb to believe. So unglaublich makes more sense. Bike path. Der Radweg. Der Radweg. Some people call it der Fahrradweg, but Radweg is fine. To help, this is also irregular. Helfen changes to an I, so hilft. Hilft. Yeah, how do you spell it? Yeah, bear. What's an ice bear? I'll play a song for you about ice bear in a little bit. We'll play it again during Foreign Language Week because it's so good. Foreigner. Yeah, der, Ausländer, someone from out of the country. Yeah? Wide, bright, like breadth, that's what I think about too. That's what comes to my mind. Museum. Das Museum. To take. Close. I mean, that can mean to carry. Nehmen, and this is really irregular. Nimmt with two M's, yeah? So it takes out that H and puts N-I-M-M-T. If it was do nimmst. I'm only showing you the third person in all these. So to know that, what I'm showing you is third person only. But it's easy to go from there to the second person. That's not irregular. Joggen. One reason I know it's not irregular, there's only three letters that take an umlaut. A, and that's one of our ones we talk about. The only one. And then if it's not E as a stem vowel, then we're only left with O and U, right? I-O-U. Yeah. But yeah, these wouldn't be irregular. But joggen is, we've had rennen, laufen, and jetzt joggen. Well known. This usually describes like a person or something, not like a city, or bekannt is this word. To wear. We just have this, all these words. Some of these. Tragen, which goes to trägt. So der Hund, der Hund trägt einen Pullover. What's a pullover? Yeah, sweater. Okay, good enough. World champion. Some would say it again. Weltmeister. Welt is world. I think that comes again somewhere. But Weltmeister, to speak. Sprechen, it's irregular, so spricht, I, E to I. A castle or palace. Das Schloss. To see. Sehen. Sieht, it adds an I, keeps the E. That's a dog eye test. Cat, bone, ball, stick, smells. You got to keep the dog's attention. Being a dog optometrist would be a hard job. To sleep. It's irregular, so schläft. Like tragen became trägt, schlafen become schläft. To read, lesen or liest, adds an I, keeps the E. Parade, like in the Carnaval der Kulturen. Parade is there. You say it? Okay, Umzug. Yeah, Umzug. Who's this character here? That's kind of. Is that right? And then here's Miss Kitty, right? I wonder where this is. Must be. It's all in English here. Oh, it's 40. It's in New York. Times Square, 46th Street. Okay. Anyway, painted. Like those bears were all painted. Bemalt. Mm-hmm. Bemalen is to paint something, and then like painted. It's really like the past participle. I have painted, but I'll say this bear is painted. So that's goal in soccer. That's tall. I'll show you. To bake. Backen. Backt. Trägt, schläft, baked. Sounds more like English. Baked. Athletic. Yeah, that makes sense because we have the other word, Leichtathletik. But this is an adjective describing people. Sportlich. Go back to the word sport. Sportlich. Last one to run, but it changes to läuft. So this kind of A with the U next to it makes it a little different sound, or quite a bit different sound. Umlaut A, U, läuft. Good. All right, let's do this real quick this way. Just for fun, let's shuffle. What do we got here? Painted. Here? Culture. Well-known. Parade. Width. Wide. Fine. Mm-hmm. Foreigner. Unbelievable.
Sleeping, wear, eat, give, take, speak, run, sit, breathe, help.
Yeah.
White guy.
Yeah, good.
World champion.
World champions.
Palace and Castles.
Good.
And
Yeah.
goal.
Goal.
And
Athletic.
and
Jogging. Yeah. Prima. Jogging. Jogging. Good. Hold on a second. Let me see. Take that off. I don't have any problems. Let me see. Were we not in the middle of? I got cut off the other day of the cities on that path, right? The romantic road. Was that you guys? With the scene from Willy Wonka and all that stuff?
oh yeah, that town. We saw the pictures of the town, but we didn't actually see like the clip from Willy Wonka.
No, I don't have a clip, but I don't think I finished that slideshow, and because I was looking for something else, a different slideshow for another class, and I was like, oh, we didn't finish that. It's here, Romantic Road.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up really quick. There's not much more to show you. I just want to, because one of our words is Schloss. Schloss, das Schloss is yeah. Just so you know, there's another word for like the kind of, I don't know, like a fortress kind of castle that you would, if you were in a war and people wanted to attack. A palace is where you reside when things are good and there's no war going on, and that's where you're safe. But then, in bigger, more powerful, sometimes it was one and the same. But there's another word called die Burg, and Burg is like a fortress, like a defendable, usually built up on a hill or something, and that's what that is. But let's see, we got there's pictures of not Nördlingen, but yeah, it is Nördlingen. Here, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Darn it. Let me do my little thing here. So the best thing I'm going to teach you guys to preview. Yeah, so Willy Wonka, they filmed that scene in Nördlingen, the outdoor scenes too earlier, inside the factory, that was all filmed in a studio. But then when they bust up out of the window at the end, this is where they're flying over the city of Nördlingen, where they filmed the first parts of the movie. And it looks it's supposed to be kind of German looking, and I'm not sure, in the book I don't remember where it takes place exactly, but for some reason for the movie they chose it to be German. So, all right, so that's Nördlingen. All right, another town, and it's hard to kind of run together because they look a lot alike, although But Donauwörth is got its own, you know, but they, like the other cities, they do this thing where they paint the buildings like, and they don't paint them like the same next to each other. You get kind of a white or gray, and then an orange, and then yellow, and then green, white, or gray, orange, yellow, brown, something else here. That's typical of a lot of towns, but that's very quaint, very pretty looking. Donauwörth is probably the least known town on the road. And then this town, Landsberg, the Landsberg am Lech. This is the Lech River that runs through here. And so if you ever see a town, something am, whatever, that means it's usually on a river, am Lech. And Landsberg is famous because it's on the romantic road, but it's also still today the home of a prison. And today it's actually a juvenile detention center, basically. But still, it's a legal thing, you know. But it's also, was before that, it was long before that, it was where, it was a real prison, a regular prison, and it's where Hitler was in prison. You know Hitler went to prison? Yeah, well, I'm talking about before that. He had trouble before this. Back, yes. Well, yeah, just after World War I, yeah. I mean, in the 20s, you know, so he and his buddies tried to start they tried to overthrow the government of Bavaria. And they actually, I mean, they got it started. Like people got killed. Like it was a real, you know, out in the streets. Started in a beer hall, and then they spread from there. And some people followed them. Some people, police got involved. The Bavarian army got involved. Next thing you know, they lost a few people. They killed a few people. They went to jail, and they all ended up in the same jail in Landsberg. And while he was there, like I think the granddaughter of the composer Richard Wagner, I think granddaughter, not daughter, that'd be too close. Granddaughter, she brought him paper because he wanted to write a book while he was in, and he wrote Mein Kampf while he was in prison in Landsberg. There you go.
Hitler was actually a really good artist. Like some of his paintings.
I've seen some of the paintings. Yeah.
Not bad.
No, I mean, better than me. I mean, actually, you know, we had some talent.
Yeah.
He did. But he got rejected, though, from the art school in Vienna, the big art school he applied to. That's one of his kind of pivotal moments in his life where he felt like he had all this talent, and then they turned him away. I'm sure that the art school in Vienna would have had the best people in the world applying to it. So I don't know if he's at that level, you know. I mean, it's good, but I'm not good at judging art, and probably it taints it a little bit for me that it's Hitler's art, you know, but you're like, well, yeah. Oh, you mean the softer side of Hitler? Okay. Kind of hard to think about that. But. So here's Landsberg, where he spent some time. I think he was sentenced to like 4 years, but he's only served like 18 months or something. That's really something. I mean, like, you know, really trying to take over a country, because Bavaria was still fairly independent at the time. And you think you'd spend a little more time in jail than that, but and killed people. I don't know, he killed people, but killed people. People got killed on both sides. And so, yeah, 18 months, that seems fair, I guess. All right, well, the final city and it's all the way down to the Austrian border, is the town of Füssen. And this is actually an old monastery up here on the hill. And the rest of the town is just as idyllic as the other towns, and lots of the red roofs and the narrow streets, and you can wander around and buy lederhosen or whatever you want to there, right? Probably good bratwurst. So anyway, I've been there a few times, and it is beautiful. I mean, but it's a little touristy. That's okay. This lake is nearby here, Forgensee. Just outside. It's looking a little low here today, but these lakes depend on the runoff from the snow melt. Here's the Basilica and Monastery up on the hill here in Füssen. That's really something to go see. Really huge. Not very full these days, but it's more used for a church today. And then next to, actually before you get to Füssen, coming north to south, you actually would pass by, or you could stop at this little community or town called Schwangau. And it's only just a few minutes or so from Füssen, which is a little further south, closer to the border. And Schwangau is the location of two castles, which I've talked about before, I think, right? This castle, which is where King Ludwig II of Bavaria grew up. You can barely see it, looks pretty small, right? And then later in his life, when he was king, he built this castle. Have we talked about this? Yeah. Okay. So this is Neuschwanstein, the one that, just about broke the whole country of Bavaria. This one down here was here before he was alive. Here's the town of Schwangau down here in this little valley. Here's the lake, one of the lakes. This lake actually wraps around here. And then you have Hohenschwangau, which means like above Schwangau, something like that. And a lot of castles begin with Hohen something. Well, this is Neuschwanstein, which is just over here. If you had a wider angle picture, Neuschwanstein's like over here. So that you can see one from the other. You go up here, you can see Neuschwanstein. You look back this way, you can see this little yellow castle there, which seems small in comparison. Actually, Hohenschwangau, believe me, would be just fine with any of you to live there, and you'd never have any complaints about the size of the place. It's plenty big on its own.
Is there like a vacation thing for you? Like, you guys never lived in this?
No, it's all like museum-like in there.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's protected, like it's part of the World Heritage. And then the German government has like National Register of Historic Places, things like that kind of stuff, Yeah, now that they may do, I don't know. Say again? Where's the painting?
No, I just saw a painting of it.
Yeah, that's a pretty famous, I would say it's probably one of the more famous castles in the world. And that's not the best picture of it. Let me see if I well, that's there. You can see Füssen and Schwangau. Is that here in the fort? Here's Schwangau, and over here is Füssen, so it's not very far away. I thought I had another picture. So show me can you bring up here?
Yeah.
Probably, there's better pictures of it. Yeah.
That's like a front picture of it.
Yeah, that's actually a better picture. But there's plenty of photos taken like that too. Let me see here. I know I've shown you guys this already, but Neuschwanstein. And let me just share it with him too. Yeah, that's the kind of the picture you were just showing me. Well, I can't blow that up. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking it's as far as castles go. I mean, and it's also the inspiration for the Walt Disney Castle. So that's something. Yeah. Anyway, it's a beautiful setting too. All that. So I think Bavaria has pretty much forgiven him for almost bankrupting the country. He ended up bringing in a lot of money. All right. So anyway, there you go. And this area in front of, this is the Alps begin right here. These are kind of these short foothills of the Alps. But there's an area that leads up to it. And here's, you can see where it ends, like right about here is where it's ending. Before it starts to become more mountainous. And here, over here, this is Austria. You can already see into Austria. But this flat area, that's a lot of dairy cattle, a lot of it's very agricultural, but you notice there's a lot of cows. This is called, this area is called Allgäu. And so, yeah, I don't know, south of Munich, all the way to the border until you get to the mountains is called Allgäu. But there are lots of mountains in Germany. This is just kind of a corner where it's more so in Austria than here. But anyway, good. That's the, sorry about that. That was the, I think it's the last slide. Yes, it is. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Let's go back real quick to the, what we were reading yesterday. I don't think we finished that either. Textbuch. And think about page 90. Okay. Hello. Why is it doing that? Wow. It's not cooperating. Now we're going slowly. Okay, so here we were. We had this word Künstler, but here, it's ein viertägiges what was Straßenfest? Straße is a street, so what's a Straßenfest?
Street fest.
And it lasts, it's viertägig, 4 day long, yeah. And mit mehr als 800, so they have like artists there that have booths, so you can buy stuff. 800 Künstler selling their whatever they make. Of course, Musik, Tanz, Performance aus über 70 Ländern. So we have Ausländer, you're from outside the country, but they have these exhibits and music and dance and all from over 70 countries. Although they have 195 countries represented that have people who live there, but only 70, exhibit something. 2011, in 2011 besuchen 1,35 Millionen Menschen das Event in Berlin. How many people came? 2011?
Nope.
Nine.
750,000.
1,35 Millionen.
1.5 million.
Yeah, 1.35 million. Went there. And then 750,000, that's what you're looking at. So 750,000, sehen den Umzug. What's der Umzug? The parade part of it. I gotta get, sorry, I keep forgetting to add. Okay. Yeah, the Umzug, the parade part of it. So, there's other things to do. The parade's maybe not exciting everybody, but there's a picture back behind you there of me at one of the first Carnaval der Kulturen. I saved a lady's life there one time.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
What'd you do?
Let me finish the article. I don't like to brag too much, but I like to brag about this though. An den 4 Tagen, during those 4 days, kann man viele kulinarische, look at that word. We have the word in English, kulinarische. Kulinari. What's that? What's cool? That might be a word you don't know in English though, but maybe. Kulinarische. It's culinary, like food related, okay? So you can enjoy, so I say, many culinary und handwerkliche Sachen. So I don't know, things that are creative, things that are crafts. Okay, good. You can enjoy lots of culinary and crafty things, things like, the artists make. I prefer to go with the culinary. That's just me. Okay, yeah, so at the parade, these gigantic floats are going by, and they're like 3 and 4 level floats. Like got people dancing like on all 4 different levels, music, pounding, blah, blah, blah. And so we were standing, like, I was with 3 friends of mine, and we were standing really close to the edge of the curb. So we were pretty close to the whole parade. And this one float, but it's in the summer. When is it? In May, or it's in June, I guess. Yeah. It's definitely June. And so it's warm outside, but okay. And so there's like this constant like circulation of, they're dancing, of like water bottles, like being hoisted up, and the bigger things. And then they're like dropping water bottles back down, empty ones back down, and there's people like following along these floats and grabbing them and throwing them back up other ones. Sometimes they throw them. Some of the big ones they have like around a rope or something, like a little net thing, and they like pull them back up there like a big jug of water. And so I'm standing there and I'm kind of more fascinated with the water circulation thing than I am with the parade. And this was at the same Carnaval de Cultura, and this guy next to me or close to me threw up to the top level of this float like 2 bottles of water. All right, so with one hand, had it like that, like that. So this guy had to either grab him with one hand or grab 2 hands. Plus, they came out of an ice chest. They're slippery. They're wet. And this is pretty high up. I mean, you know. And he missed one of the water bottles. It slipped through his hand or something. I didn't. And I see the water bottle coming back down, and it's going to hit this woman in the head. I saved her life, a little bit extreme. But I saved her from at least a traumatic brain injury, probably, yeah. And I reached, but she was right next to me. I don't know who, total stranger. I mean, and she was young, I mean, younger than me. She was like college age. And I just oh, yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those moments where you get to be like one of the Avengers or something, you know? And I grabbed it. You don't get very many of those moments unless you are an Avenger. I grabbed it, and she, like, took her a minute to, like, process what had happened. Not a minute, but she's like looking around, and she looks up and looks at me, and I kind of pulled the water bottle up from top of her, not, you know, above her head. And because you got to hold it there for a minute. That's part of the show.
Everyone can see.
Right. You got to, like, you can't just go like this. You can't go. No, that's not as humble. I'm not that humble. Better realize what just happened. Then pull it down.
And that's so cool.
Yeah, and then don't ask for any. It's okay. It's all right. Don't. Hey, stop. Savior seems kind of. That's what she called me. She said, "Oh, mein Retter," which is usually a word preserved just for Jesus. But I tried to stop her, you know, from calling me that. But I'm just kidding. But she did say that, and I said, no. And so she was really sweet. But so. I don't know. It would have hurt. I'll tell you that. I mean, a water bottle falling from like 30 feet above, it would have hurt. Full of water, yeah. So it would not feel good. Let's just say that. And
I was at a cross country and I was just laying in the kid. And I guess this girl from like another school, she's trying to throw a water bottle in the trash can. Right next to me and hit me in the forehead.
whoa,
Yeah.
was she a shot putter?
And it like the plastic cap hit me, so
Oh, man.
I started bleeding, but I wasn't. I
Yeah.
didn't hurt, but I wasn't.
Thing about head injuries is they bleed a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's one other Carnaval de Cultura story. That's not as heroic as that one, but actually it makes me look more stupid. But this was a different year that I was there, and they had this. And it's pretty cool to go see. But there were these guys. They're from Africa, and they were dancing. But it was like this tribal kind of dance, and they're doing it in, synchronicity with each other. And it was really cool. These guys were like ripped. I mean, they looked like they'd been in the weight room, but not, they were shorter, but they were just muscle ripple, anyway. But the dance was like really cool. And so I was there and I was taking pictures and I was close to the edge of the sidewalk again. And I asked the guy, they came right up close. The guy they were marching like in these columns, or they were coming along. And so one guy was right close to me, and they kind of they would stand there for a while and do the dance. Then they'd march along like another block or so and do it again, or not a block, half a block or so. So they were doing it right in front of us, and after the dance, they were kind of like waiting there for a minute to move forward. And I asked the guy, in German, I said, "Woher kommst du? Where are you from? Woher kommst du?" And he said, "Benin." And I said, I know you live in Berlin, but where are you from, though?" "Benin." I said, "Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm gonna ask the right question. Like, originally, where are you from? Before Berlin."
He looked like deep African.
What's that?
He looked like deep African.
Yes, yeah. But just I mean, he was trying to explain, the joke's on me because I was on stupid. And he's like, he kept telling me, I said, yeah, but originally, yeah, Berlin. Turns out there's a country in Africa named Benin. Yeah, he was saying Benin. I think in German it'd be pronounced Benin. It's this, the E and the I sound, you know. And I finally just gave up on him, and I told the people I was like, I tried to ask him where they're from, but he told me Berlin. And the guy said, yeah, there's a country called Benin in Africa. I was like, dang it. Please march on. Don't look at me anymore. Yeah, well. So, you know, sometimes you save somebody's life, sometimes you look like an idiot. That pretty much sums up life there. That's all right. Yeah, so your chapter, we haven't talked much about this, deals with Berlin. I thought I was just having a hard time saying it. Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit already, you know. Brandenburger Tor, there's the word Tor again. Here's Alexanderplatz, yeah. Museum Ensel, this famous church here. Yeah, famous people from Berlin. Well, Friedrich II, Friedrich the Great, King of Prussia. The Humboldt, there's actually two brothers. I forget the other one's name. Maybe Jakob and Alexander von Humboldt, both famous environmentalists or naturalists, I guess you'd say. And the University of Berlin is named after. It's Humboldt Universität is the University of Berlin, is what it's named after. Gustav Langenscheidt, who's not that well known in the United States, but he was a big publisher. And also he is maybe most famous. They published language books, and that's why I know them. Language books, dictionaries, and you can visit their house where they live. Bertolt Brecht is a famous playwright. In fact, he even has a theater in Berlin, but Bertolt Brecht is well known. Got the word. And one of my favorite, Marlene Dietrich, who was a singer, and she lived until the first or second year I taught here, she died. I can't remember if it was 92 in the spring, because I started 91, but 92 in the spring, or 92 in the fall. But she died in 1992. And Marlene Dietrich, actress and singer, and yeah, she was in American films too. But before that, she was popular. She left left Germany before World War II really got started. She saw kind of what was happening and decided to get out while she could. Because a lot of her friends who were Jewish had been just disappeared all of a sudden. So Thomas Hessler, who is my age, but in his prime, he played on at least two, maybe three German national teams. He's from Berlin too. But Marlene Dietrich is buried in Berlin, and her grave is not hard to find, but it's much visited, I guess you'd say. 3.4 million people. That we said already. Foreigners that live there, 474,000, almost 475,000. Again, out of 195 countries that are represented. They have more tourism than they have inhabitants. They have almost 3.5 million. They almost had 8 million visitors, tourists in 2008 at least. There's a food there that's from Berlin, the Doner Kebab. That's also Currywurst comes from there. Those are two food dishes that you can buy on the street and carry in your hand and eat. That they're really good though. Yeah, and other things we talk about: Brandenburger Tor, Reichstag, Gedächtniskirche, Gendarmenmarkt. Those are all places to visit. Anyway, I think we've talked quite a bit about Berlin before we got to this point. So, okay. Is this going to a real? Oh, it does go into a map. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of the city. I mean, where all the more important, stuff you'd want to go see, like the Reichstag over here. See, From the Reichstag to the Brandenburg Gate, this is just right here. Street goes up this way, take a right, you're at the Brandenburg Gate. Right here, where you can't see, that's the American Embassy, is right there outside the Brandenburg Gate, on the east side of the Brandenburg Gate. Over here, this kind of gray, here's green, is where the Holocaust Memorial is. Like if you had an office on the back side of the American Embassy as an ambassador, you'd be looking over the Holocaust Memorial every day. That would be a little... Opera House here. Here, see Humboldt Universität, that I mentioned the Humboldt brothers. It's named after them here. Here's the Museum Insel, or the Museum Island, all the kind of Smithsonian type stuff here. With the cathedral there. And then up here, you could keep going further east, and you come to Alexanderplatz, and the City Hall, the Rotes Rathaus, which is the City Hall for Berlin. But this is kind of if you were just going there to be a tourist, this would be the most important stuff you'd want to go see. I mean, all this is important, but if you had just a few hours, this is where you want to hang out here. So good. Gneisenaustrasse. Wow. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I think we're almost. Yep. Okay. Yeah, what time are we out to? Oh, we have time. Well, maybe she'll call here in a minute. All right. Okay, let me get this here. Okay.
Hi there, could you just
There we go.
wait?
There you go. Wait. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Cheers, Douglas.